What's up, guys? Welcome back to the channel. Got another build outside here. We're still working on the Subaru from the last build. This is where we're at. Basically waiting for parts. Grabbed another puller. It was really cheap, like 300 bucks with the pump and all these attachments. So now I've got two pullers, so one breaks, I got a spare. So here's the new build here. I'm not sure what year. I think it's a 2015 Kia Forte. Piece of junk car, but it was really cheap. Damage hit in the back. It's not branded, so it's a clean title. And you got some fitment issues here. Old bumper in the trunk. Got new lights already with it. 100,000 kilometers. It's 2017 actually. Nice car. Kind of looks like a Civic. Bumper needs to be fixed. So yeah, so this is what we're working on next. In a few minutes we'll get to pulling this. I got to pull the car outside, basically because the Subaru, I ripped apart the fuse box and I can't move it. So I'm going to put my puller on the floor here and pull the car that way to try and get the back panel out, and then I'll see if I need to change the panel or not. But it's not branded, so cheap car. Okay, so we've got the puller set up, chained to the rear rebar. It got hit here the hardest. You can see in here, it got pushed in quite a bit. You always want to pull where you know it got pushed in or hit first or the most. This is fiberglass, it's probably going to tear off, but I at least want to try and pull it out the same way it got hit. There's a big kink here we're going to have to try and get out. There's no other damage anywhere else. Actually, yeah, there is right here. That means the rail is probably bent. No, rail's not bent. That's good. So we'll start pulling on this and then go from there. Okay, so we're pulling now. Rebar's coming out. So I didn't do anything at all other than pull the rebar, but it's actually bending this back, which is good. Now I'm going to reach around with this big one here that I just got. That one will go up and around, and I'll put a block of wood so it doesn't damage it too much. Okay, so we've got the big one attached. This is such a small pull, you can actually do this with a come-along. Something like this. And you can basically tie it to a truck or a tree, block the wheels, and you can do it like that. Let's give it a pull, see what happens. So I've got a block of wood in here. This kink came out quite a bit. That one inside came out as well, a fair bit. Pretty much sit right there. I'll release it. I'll have to reposition. Okay, so we're done pulling. We've pulled it out. Gaps are good. Close is good. Gaps, perfect gaps. All I gotta do now is basically work on the inside, make it nice, take this rebar off, check and see how much damage there is, and start fixing here and about here. This is another damn tri-coat, story of my life. More damage up here, probably from the hinge bending upwards. So next I'll start taking stuff off and I'll take some more videos there. Okay, we've got the panel out. Pretty straight, pretty good. Got the kink out. I just need to do some body work in here. Here's the bad one where it's really kinked. So this is gonna have to be, it's pulled as much as I can, but it's gotta be massaged from the bottom. So I gotta take off the muffler and everything. That'll be a job. But yeah, so next I'll test fit the rebar, make sure it's all right, and then start working on that and that. So there, it's all massaged back. There's some grinding and fine hammering to do and some glazing putty, but that's it for that. Okay, so everything's fitting pretty good. Trunk closes really well. I've ground all this down. I've pulled out this dent. I'm gonna apply some putty here. Apply some putty here and here where the hinges seem to have bent upward, but I knocked them down. I'm gonna putty them. And then, yeah, so I'll videotape that next and I'll get back to you. Here's the used bumper I got from a local scrapyard. A little bit of damage here, some scraping, a couple little chips here. Everything else seems to be okay. So basically what I'll do is I'll sand this whole thing down with 600 wet. All of it, 600 wet. Here I'm gonna hit it with 180. And then I may put putty, see what happens. If not, I'll just be priming this area and then sanding the primer with 600 wet once done. Okay, so I went ahead and put in this glazing putty, just in the spots, just a few scratches, a couple nicks. Once that's done and dry, I'll sand the whole bumper with 600 wet, and then that will be ready for paint. Now I'll go sand off my Bondo that I put on the back of the tailgate and see where we're at with that. So I started to sand. I'm using 100 grit on a flat block. I don't have it here. Yeah, right here. Just 100 grit. But for in here, it's curved. So you need to use something that's round. So basically, when you're sanding, you retain that curve. When you sand twist your rod. Crisscross. Trying to hold the trunk with my knee. There you go. So you can see the shape, getting that shape back. I gotta work in here and get this down. And then I'll just do a final coat for here and some other spots. Okay, so it's all dried. I've sanded it down with 600 wet. I'm now gonna spray it with trim and bumper primer. So here we go. Just do light coats or else you're gonna get runs. A couple spots there, another spot here, right there. Let it dry. You can tell if it's dry when you see it start to turn dull. You can blow on it, speeds it up a bit. So I'll let this dry. I'll apply another coat, maybe 2 more, build it up a bit, and then sand this down with 600. Then this bumper's done and ready. I've applied a second coat to the tailgate over there, and then I'll sand that down and we'll prime that as well. Okay, so repairs are done. Again, with the trim and bumper primer, I use this basically for everything. If it's not steel, I am going to have to put some etching primer on the open steel before this. And then once that dries, sand it out and I'll be ready to paint, likely tomorrow. Stay tuned for part 2, probably tomorrow. I'll have that all wrapped up. I've got about maybe 4 hours into this job and then another 3 or 4 tomorrow. Quick job, cheap car. See you tomorrow.